There's the row head in action. You guys saw a lot of that footage last year in our Milo harvest videos. We are cutting away at Milo today here on the east side of this creek field. 2 combines and a grain cart. We're just using the 2 combines that have row heads on. This stuff's not going to yield near what the other side of the creek did, but that's all right. So we are on the field of down Milo. Man, I got some dirt on my face. That never happens.
You can just stand here and eat until we get a full dump, until we get the grain unloaded, then you can switch back to the combine.
So it has been a full week since our last Milo harvest vlog, where we were on the last field, and we got done with all the stuff down the good Milo down in the low area, which is what we wanted to get done before the rain. It didn't end up raining very much. It was really just kind of a misty day. It was kind of enough mist and damp weather that we wouldn't have been, able to cut. And that weather kind of continued through the weekend. So we just took some time to do some cattle things, and I got to go to the K-State football game, so that was fun. And then we had a hard freeze there. Now we've had, just the last few days, we've had much drier and warmer days. So we are back at it up on this Milo that was falling down up on the hill. We've got both row heads out, and one on the 9600 and then one on the 7720. And the 9610 is sitting still. Partly because Greg has a speaking trip, and so we don't have anyone to run it, and we're kind of behind. Well, we only have Mom to haul too, and the days are getting shorter. But anyways, we're on the final stretch of harvest, so you can see the snoots go underneath the Milo stalks and actually pull those heads up off the ground, whereas like with our flex heads, even if we lower it flat on the ground, the heads will slip underneath and it'll just cut the stalks off. But this kind of lifts them up, and it feeds in a lot more even where there's like half of it's standing up and half of it's down. It feeds everything in nice and even to the combine. And then even here we'll go back to tall Milo, but even in it, especially now that the leaves are dead, this will feed it in even. And like in short stuff where you have to take a lot of leaves, the row head just works better than a conventional header. But if you have a field full of standing Milo that looks like how we want it to look, you can just cut the tops of the heads right off, and then the conventional header works better than a row head. Most of all, it's less maintenance and wear, a little more work to run these for a lot of acres. So we try to just use these when we need them. But they work nice when they're working. And we could have come in here and cut some with each, but for this field there's just random, like here I'm going to hit another patch where it fell down. So it's pretty hard to, and that's usually how Milo works. It goes down in random places, and so if you have a field that's going down some, it's just kind of better to have a row head or two to go get it with.
And there's a 7720 cranking away. we switched from the 8-row to the 6-row head for this one, so we can put the 8-row on the 9600, if you notice the difference. The grain cart driver is less busy today, so I am, we traded off. Dad ate his lunch while he was in the grain cart, and then he took my combine. And then I've been eating my lunch while I'm in the grain cart. Now I'm about to switch Nathan off so he can eat his lunch. That way nobody's trying to eat a sandwich while they're turning corners and stuff in the combine. Saves a little bit of hassle anyway. And just like that, I'm switched back. Nathan told me that the grain dump was full, so I gotta go and grab that and go meet Mom halfway in from the elevator. She's already gotten her ticket, but I figure I'll just meet her and she'll take in the load and I'll come back and run grain cart a little more.
The freeze made sure to kill off all the rest of this Milo, and so the leaves are nice and dead now. It's feeding into the combines really well, even in the down spots. The row heads feed it in nice. With Milo, since it puts on that big head up at the top of the plant, just one of its traits is that when it's stressed, it kind of cannibalizes its stalk and falls down. And there's some varieties that do it worse than others, so we try to grow Milo that isn't going to fall down, but sometimes you just find some that goes down. And this field was really wet when we planted. I think it had, planting it had compacted sidewalls, and then it just turned super dry. So it was kind of a perfect storm for it to go down. Even this hill is still going to make a decent bushels for what it went through. And with how well the bottom did, making it through that dry spell and then getting the rain, we're very pleased with our average yield across our whole Milo crop.
Today, Mom's jacket is in this semi. My hoodie is in the grain cart, and Nathan had like 2 or 3 things that were sitting in the combine, so we'll see if we all get those tracked down and they make it to the right place this evening.
There goes Kendall with the next load. There's maybe 2 semi-loads left, and then we just have the one field of double crop to do. So you can see throughout the field, I raise up where I can, because obviously, like, we don't really want to send all that material through the combine if we don't have to. We just want the heads, just for wear on the combine, and it's kind of nice to leave the residue, anchored in the ground. And so we just go down where it's falling down, and then the combine has to thresh all that material and then chops it up and spreads it out, which should be fine, and it should stay put for the most part, but some of it might kind of blow off. But so anyways, I just wanted to show where you can kind of see throughout the field where I went up and down. Okay, so while I'm unloading, I'm just going to show you the row head. This is not a corn head, not a corn head. There are corn head conversion kits you can get to cut Milo similar to this, but this, John Deere doesn't make these anymore. But you can see it has these belts that interlock, and they pinch the stalk and pull it right up there. And then there's a knife down in there that rotates and cuts off the stalk. And so these snoots, they can move up and down, and they run on the ground and get underneath if something's falling down, they get underneath it, and then those belts grab it, of course, and then the auger pulls it in. So it works pretty good. They are some maintenance. Those belts, let me get back in. still had a little room. Those belts, they do get some wear, you know, over lots of acres. You know, I know people that cut all their Milo with these, but you know, then you got to rebuild them, and it's getting harder to find parts. Then yeah, a lot of people are going to, because I know like in Texas where they have shorter, thinner Milo, and it might, you know, go down more often. A lot of people, and Southwest Kansas, a lot of people have the cornhead conversion kits. So then you just buy kind of an older cornhead or whatever. I don't know exactly how they work, but you can convert it over to cut Milo. You kind of replace the stock rolls so that instead of pulling the whole stock through, it just cuts it off. Farmer Dan can probably tell you all about that. I think he has one of them.
This field borders our 80 acres of alfalfa right there. A lot of the bales from second, third, and fourth cutting are still sitting on the side of the field. So I've tracked down my favorite vest and one of my long sleeve shirts, so I'm 2 steps closer to finding all my clothes. Keep eating! Dad's doing the last pass over here, so this is all that's left of full season Milo. We're that close.
$77.20, getting her done. Can't stop, won't stop.
$77.20.
Always a relief to be done with the field of down Milo. All we have is double crop field of, well, it's mostly Milo that is standing, at least it was the last time I drove by, and then the sunflowers are part of the same field. So we can definitely see the end. Look at that good old iron getting her done. Blowing some smoke. Bye, rabbit.
Well,
Nice.
is Nathan gonna dump on you or not?
Apparently it got colder out there. Dad and I are gonna take the 2 trucks. Nathan's gonna take a combine. We'll leave 3 things here, but we gotta move to the double crop field. That's the priority now. On the scale at Schooler at the same time as Dad this time. There's the first bushels of double crop going into the bin. Nathan made it here first with the combine and cut a load. So we'll see what the moisture tests tomorrow morning. So we ended up having this tractor over here to take off the row, to unload the row head. And so it's gonna pull home that header trailer. That's the trailer that we brought the row head over. So the Dodge just pull that on. We'll have to come back another time and get the 7720 and the grain cart. So we have a lot of moving still to do. We aren't going to use the grain cart on the next field, and the second combine's not quite to the field yet, so they don't really need another person until they get that first truck full. But Dad and I are kind of finishing up some stuff in the yard and over here before we get moved over there. Look at that fortress of grain. That's where we're heading, folks.